Welcome back, travelers, to a color episode. It's been a while since we've actually done color episodes. We've been normally doing the dual colors. I did one for mono blue. We do have red, black, white, and green somewhere down the pipeline. We're specifically talking about the colors of magic. And in this particular, we're talking about tricolor. Now, that may sound kind of crazy because obviously that's 10 different color combinations. And then there's the question of, well, these are 3 colors. They must be very complex. And it's because of that they're actually a lot more formulaic than you may think. Usually when somebody scores on my color test with roughly 3 colors as their primary colors, there's an obvious primary. Usually what I mean by that is that either it's going to be one color that is higher than the other 2, or it's going to be 3 colors that are all very, very similar to each other, but then one will stand out. Either it'll be the one that's the opposite of those 2 colors, or it'll be the one that's the ally of those 2 colors. And usually you can see that as the base. So if, for instance, somebody is red, green, white, that would be the knight archetype. If they're the knight, then that means that their base most likely is green. That's not guaranteed, of course, because they could be primary red, white. You can tell this basically by looking at their way their colors all shake down. And really, a tricolor character is identified by which of those colors are strongest. One thing I noticed in the several years that I've had the color test going is that when a person usually scores as a tricolor, it means one of 2 things. Either they have a very eclectic personality, or they're mid-transition into a new color pair. So looking at the archetype of the knight, the 3 monocolored combinations that are in there are the lover, the naturalist, and the believer. So those 3 different aspects, those 3 different things are all going to be kind of fighting each other to see which one's going to be the primary color. More importantly is the dual color combinations, of which there are 6, because you have to have both of the red-green ones, both the green-white ones, and both the red-white ones all involved. And just by looking at the percentages, you can tell which one is the more dominant of the dual color combinations. Now, obviously, because it's 3 colors, it's a lot muddier than it would be otherwise. You can say if a person is mono red, oh yeah, they're definitely going to be this impulsive character. They're going to have these emotional aspects. They're going to be creative in these aspects. Those are things that you can pretty much usually guarantee. But when it comes to 3 colors, that means that they're going to be balancing each other out. There's going to be just this pulling back and forth. Because, well, just in red-green, you have the adventurer and the romantic. And the addition of white is going to change what exactly that is. For example, the green-white and white-green aspects are the monk and the evangelist. Those 2 are right there, very different from the romantic and the adventurer, because they balance each other out, that red and white opposition. One is very passionate, the other one is very disciplined. And where is that going to fall for this specific knight? And that's why, for as far as the 3 color combinations, I went with very broad terms. For instance, like I said, the knight. There's different kinds of knights. There are knights that are very chivalrous and follow a specific order or code. There are knights that are very passionate and will save whoever they need to. There are knights that are more of the spiritual kind and are more like paladins. So by calling them the knight, you allow this opportunity for a wide variety of interpretations, which is necessary if you're going to go 3 colors, because 3 colors is not enough to specify what a person is like. Same reason, again, why we have the dual color combinations the way they're set up. Now, while we have the knight, we also have the other 9 color combinations. Now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to refer to these as their multicolor combinations as opposed to saying Naya or Cabaretti, because those have their own connotations already attached to them. Naya is very jungle and animalistic, which is a strong focus on the green side of things, maybe pulling from the adventurer, pulling from the monk. But more importantly, we have the next one, which is the hero. The hero, of course, being blue, green, white. They're the thinker, they're the naturalist, and they're the believer. There's somebody who thinks about things. If they're more on the blue side of things, they want to try and figure out ways to make a perfect society, perfect the way things are going. If they're more white, they're the kind of person that has a specific view of the law and will follow it to a T, while the green one wants people to have a sense of fairness amongst everyone. There's this difference that kind of comes from that. And of course, the multicolor aspects means that you can have more of some and less of another and still be the same color combination as somebody else who's in the hero aspect. The engineer is white, blue, black. That one's pretty easy to look at because it's about the believer, it's about the thinker, and it's about the opportunist. It's a person who looks at for every little bit and bob that they can manipulate and make either better, make better for themselves, or make better for society, which of course goes with blue, black, and whites respectively. But along all of those different things, it doesn't necessarily have to be a machine. A person can be an engineer and fit more like comfortably with people and working with people and finding ways to make those interactions, which if you look at the other color combinations that are in that, it kind of fits when you have a lot of the blue-white or the white-black aspects that are more social in their nature. This next one's a little controversial because I know that the name itself has a lot of connotation behind it that will kind of already give you an idea of what it's supposed to be. But I made blue, black, red the villain. Now, the villain archetype is basically the idea that the villain can have a variety of aspects. They could be somebody who is trying to strive for power, the black aspect. They could be somebody who has either lost something or cares greatly about something and is trying to protect it, the red side of things, and they're just misguided. Or the blue side, which is legitimately just smarter than everybody else and is going for progress regardless of what it takes. Now, the villain is a person that you are trying to go against usually, but I felt like it was just good because it's an anti-hero, if anything else. You can look at these different aspects and you can see characters that would fall into those combinations that aren't actually villainous or antagonistic in their respective stories. It's just that the villain was the easiest overarching thing to give them, these three characters. I'm more than open to somebody giving me a better color combination name than the villain because it already has that sound to it. Black, red, green. This one was a really hard one too because it takes combinations of all these different characters and different ideas, and I had to be able to put them all together. And part of that is that there was like the survivalist, there's the destroyer, there's all these different, the romantic, the adventurer, all of these different things are all kind of coming together to try and create something unique. And so what I came up with the best for was basically just based off of what characters in media tend to have these color combinations. And that's why it's the Seducer. It's a person who uses everything they naturally have at their disposal or that they can emotionally manipulate in order to survive. It doesn't really have so much to do with like romance or anything like that. It's more, I can manipulate people in some way or another. It doesn't necessarily have to be any physical kind. It could just be a person that is very good at talking and can actually talk people around to thinking it's their own idea. The Seducer gets their way kind of thing. And again, this kind of focuses on which aspect of it are you? Are you red-green? Are you green-black? Are you black-red? Because obviously the black-red side could be the iconoclast or the hedonist, which would fall into that kind of ideology. And again, if there's a better term to describe the Seducer, I would definitely go for it because that feels just a little too charged as well. So that was all the shards. Now we can talk about the wedges in the next episode. Yes, this is going to be a two-parter. I'm going to release this one first, and then we're going to release the next one very soon after, most likely that and following after this weekend that comes by. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been the color combination specifically for the shards. The wedges will be next time. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, travel well.